Greetings, everyone that's here in the audience and those that are streaming. The video will be posted up on YouTube. Appreciate everybody coming tonight. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, then we'll go right into the approval of the agenda. I'll call this meeting now to order. Please be seated. Before I get to item 1, which is the approval of the agenda, Commissioner Legg is not here tonight. He's resting. He's been in and out of the hospital this week. I would ask each of you to keep your thoughts and prayers with him and his family as they go through this difficult time. I don't know the extent of his illness. I don't know. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kenwana McCray is recovering from surgery at home. She is on my cell phone. She will be participating in this meeting. And it seems like there was some type of question about her interaction remotely. I'm going to clear this up right now before we get to it. To those who send in questions without facts. So the discussion of Hope Mills Board of Commissioners Rule of Procedure, this was brought up in November 4th, 2024, prior to Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray's surgery, which were going to be a number of them, not just one of them, a number of them. And they were scheduled based on how she was going to have to progress and recover. So you really couldn't put a fence or a time period on when people have surgeries. She participated in board meetings while she was recovering from surgery. So did Commissioner Jerry Legg. We afforded him the opportunity at the same way. Commissioner Craver also had a phone call participation into one of the Parks and Rec meetings. So I just want to clear this up, and I'm going to read it into the record. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kenwana McCray requested that the rules of procedure be suspended indefinitely in order to allow her to vote via phone while she is recovering from a scheduled surgery on November 19th. Mayor Bellflower supported the idea so that Commissioner Jerry Legg could utilize the same mechanism while he recovered from a recent car accident. What I'm reading is public record. It's in the minutes. I'm reading exactly the word for word of the minutes. Town Attorney Hartzog clarified that a member being present by phone did not count toward a quorum, and that quorum would still need to present in order of any vote to count. He also cautioned against adopting a separate rule to allow for non-votes via remote participation counting toward the affirmative, although this statute already exists as it pertained to in writing voting. He stated it would be problematic, seeing as if there could be implications with technology and a non-vote automatically being considered a yes vote because of that. A motion was made by Commissioner Marley. It was seconded by Commissioner Scorola, and it was carried unanimously by all 5 board members to accept Mayor Pro Tem's request as well as the advice of the town attorney. That's the facts. That's what happened November the 4th, 2024. And that's what we're doing tonight. So we would afford Commissioner-elect the same opportunity. If he was wanting to come in remotely, he would have the same opportunity as Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kiwanis McCray. So I just wanted to clear the air on this before we get into the presentation tonight, since it's been a contentious discussion throughout the day about something that the board previously voted on almost a year ago. Really, it was really something. Item 1, approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions or changing of the agenda?
Mayor, I would like to move the current item 3, change that to item 2, and item 2 to item 3. So it would be, item 2 would now be Mac McClearly. I'm butchering that name. Personnel investigation general update would be number 2, and then the closed session would be number 3.
Okay, and you'll read the closed session
Correct.
in place of Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kiwanis McCray.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second to change the order. We're moving up item 3 will become item 2. Item 2 will become item 3. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Seeing none opposed, Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray votes in the affirmative, so the motion will carry. Therefore, item 2 now will be Mac McCleary, Personnel Investigation General Update. And Dan, I will give this to you to introduce him as he comes forward.
Sure. I'd like to thank Mac McCarley for doing the investigation for us that the board voted to authorize at the last meeting. Mr. McCarley did prepare a memo that I have to hand out. Are you ready for me to hand this to the board? Okay. I'll just invite Mac up to the microphone to go ahead and present, and when you're ready, I'll hand it.
Thanks, Dan. Mac, it's on you. Yeah, you got the mic on, so.
Yes, sir. My name is Mac McCarley. I was hired by this commission to investigate a simple fact, and that was whether or not Commissioner Craver made a racist comment to citizen Roy Young at the Waffle House on September 11th. So that is the limited scope of this report. And I'm going to give you the conclusion before I walk you through the report. This comes down to a 2-on-2, he said, she said case. There are 4 people who were directly involved. The 2 people who did most of the talking were Commissioner Craver and Roy Young, but she had a friend there with her, Ruth Farley, and Mr. Young had a friend with him, Damon Ritz. Mr. Ritz and Mr. Young tell one story, Ms. Craver and Ms. Farley tell a different one, and they are absolutely diametrically opposed. In my judgment, after having looked at the evidence, talked to the people involved, looked at documents, it is my judgment that it is more likely than not that Ms. Craver made that statement. The statement being, there are too many blacks running the town. Here's how I went about it. It's undisputed that there were 4 people there. All 4 of the people that I interviewed, the 4 that were there, admit that they were there. Commissioner Craver and Ms. Farley were there together, intended to be. Mr. Young and Mr. Ritz were there, intending to be. The 4 were not together. This was not a planned meeting of 4, it was 2 meetings of 2. They were sitting in booths back to back. Commissioner Craver was on the far side of her booth, Mr. Young on the far side of his booth, with Ms. Farley and Mr. Ritz in the middle. The conversation started with, this is all according to Mr. Young, and I will get everybody else's view of this when we get to the end. According to Mr. Young, the conversation started when Commissioner Craver asked him how things were going. He talked briefly about his business, and then he mentioned that his mother had just died. They had a short conversation about that, and then, according to Mr. Young, Ms. Craver asked him about the study for the difference between a landmark designation and a National Register designation. Mr. Young is on the Historic Preservation Commission. There had been a vote by this body to spend $6,000 to do a study of the Episcopal Chapel for designation as a National Historic Landmark. She voted against it, was not in favor of it, and Mr. Young was in favor of it. They briefly discussed that issue, and he tried to describe the difference between landmark designation and historic register designation. She then mentioned the staggered term vote by the board and said that she had opposed that, but that a petition drive to recall it failed. Next, she talked about the town manager and the public Parks and Recreation Director, and mentioned that the Parks and Recreation Director wasn't very good at handling his budget. She then, at the end of the conversation, said, "We need 2 new commissioners and replace the mayor so that we can, quote, reverse some things," close quote. And then she made that final statement that, quote, "There are too many blacks running the town." According to Mr. Young, he then asked her, "What did you just say to me?" And she didn't reply. Commissioner Craver's version of this is that she admits being there, admits talking to Roy Young about his mother's death, and then said, "I asked, did you talk about anything else?" And she said, "No, nothing about the town." And then repeated it, "Nothing about the town." Ms. Farley admits that the conversation about the mother dying occurred, and then said that there was a discussion of historic plaques, but nothing else. I talked with the mayor, and I asked him whether he had ever had any conversations with Commissioner Craver about the ability of the board to fire or hire a new manager if a new board came in. And he told me that yes, they had had a conversation about the fact that a new board could fire a town manager. That's the guts of the investigation. The real issue here is determining credibility. Mr. Young's report and Mr. Ritz's report are identical in all material respects. I will tell you that Mr. Young had a better recollection of the exact words. Mr. Ritz is not very familiar with municipal operations, and for example, when discussing staggered terms, he didn't get that term. He said, when they all get elected at different times. But in all material respects, those 2 accounts are identical. Mr. Young also wrote a 2-page statement. He asked to meet with the town manager and the mayor after your September 15th meeting and reported this conversation to them. After that, he wrote a 2-page statement because he wanted to, in his words, get it written down so he wouldn't forget it all. There is also a photo that he authenticated for me that he took at the Waffle House at that meeting. He took it from his seat, and in the photo you would see Commissioner Craver and Ms. Farley. He took it because he said he wanted to be able to prove that she had been there, that he and she had been there. If the only thing you talked about was his mother's recent death, there would be no reason to take a photograph to prove that somebody was there for the conversation. It also says that he had a contemporaneous understanding of the significance of what had been said. Then I looked at motive. Mr. Young and Mr. Ritz really don't have any other than the notion of being a good citizen and reporting something that disturbed them. For Commissioner Craver, the potential motive would be to avoid embarrassment and to not damage her reelection campaign. And for Ms. Farley, her motive, not to tell the whole truth, would be to protect her friend. All in all, it comes down to 2 against 2 and a credibility determination. But in my judgment, it is more likely than not that the statements were made.
Okay,
Send up a copy of the written report, and then if y'all have any questions for Mr. McCarley, go from there.
thank you, Mac.
Yes, sir.
I will ask the board this question. Do we have a motion to accept Mac McCarthy's report as presented tonight and the report of investigation as he is just handed out?
Mayor, I'd like to make that motion that we accept the findings of the investigation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion about this? Seeing none? All in favor? Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kenwana McCray votes in the affirmative. That would be 3. Commissioner Craver, you do not accept?
No, because that's wrong.
Does not, Commissioner Craver does not accept. We thank you for your service. We wish you well. We appreciate that you've taken the time to do this report for us. We're going to go into closed session now and discuss another matter at this time.
We may want, if there are questions for Mr. McCarley about his report, now would probably be the time since he is here.
I asked that earlier.
Okay.
Okay? Item number 3, closed session called pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege, and NCGS 143-318-11A6, personnel.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to conduct a closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A3 to consult with the attorney on matters within the attorney-client privilege, and also to conduct a closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A6 to discuss personnel matters.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries unanimous with Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Kenwana McCray voting in the affirmative. We will go into closed session and return when we can. We thank you very much for waiting, but we'll be back.
Let me go ahead.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for waiting on us, for those that are still in the audience, and for those that are watching us through a live stream. Commissioner Scarola, do you have something to read?
Mayor, we move to seal the minutes of the closed session until such a time as the release of the information would no longer frustrate the purpose of the closed session, and further, no action was taken.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Scarola. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray votes in the affirmative. The motion passes unanimous. We are adjourned.